What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another gold making video. It's been a while, and I'm sorry about that. I've really been enjoying Shadowlands. I've really just been enjoying playing the content. I have been streaming a little bit, but I haven't been making videos. I've just really been enjoying it. And I say that as I say, welcome back to another gold making video where we're not in Shadowlands. So I guess we're consistent, huh? Um, I have really had a lot of success with this lately, so I wanted to make a video on it. So I've noticed on my server in particular, the price of old mounts in general has skyrocketed. So not necessarily what we're talking about today, or not just the Panthers, but everything else as well. Sky Golems, maybe not so much because a lot of people have kind of stocked up on them, but Panthers in particular, Vial of the Sands, I've noticed for whatever reason on my server in particular, like Gar Night Howl, I've made a video about it in the past, but Gar Night Howl has gone from 2,000 all the way up to 10,000 on my server, so I've had a really good time with that lately. But I wanted to focus today on the Panthers here. So we are located in the Jade Forest. We're located right here at the Arboretum. So just kind of smack dab on the easternmost, middlemost portion here. Pretty easy to get to. Just fly east of Vale of Eternal Blossoms if you don't have the flight points. If you do, just fly to the Arboretum. Pretty easy. We're going to first talk about this vendor right here. If you did not know about this, I just wanted to point this out first and foremost because as I talk about rep later, this is going to become very important. If you haven't already done so, come on a character that you played in Pandaria. If you have a character who is revered, come out and buy this grand commendation of the Order of the Cloud Serpent. It's account wide. Once you buy it, once you learn it, it unlocks 100% bonus reputation gain with the Order of the Cloud Serpent for all characters on this account. Super important because you need to be exalted. You need to be exalted here with your Jewelcrafter. Now, saying that, I feel like if I were the one watching this video a couple months ago or a year ago, just hearing that, I would be super overwhelmed and be like, no, thank you. I'm okay. I'll pass. I'll do this later. It's really not that bad. I got exalted. I started at 0 rep or neutral or whatever you start at with these guys here. It took me probably 2 hours at most. And that was mostly just because I kept AFKing for like no reason other than my own fault of getting distracted, getting coffee or whatever. It did not take long at all. The most important thing though, like I said, is to get that commendation. So the other big thing, you don't have to have your jewel crafting leveled. Don't worry about that. Step 1, get your reputation. Don't worry about anything else. You can buy these and then learn the patterns later. The important part is having the patterns. Yeah, so why don't I talk about why it's worth it to get these patterns? Why are we putting in all of this work? Well, a lot of people don't want to. They think about having to get exalted or honored or revered, and they're like, forget about it, right? Just not worth it. However, on my server right now, the Panthers are at a minimum 19,000 gold profit. At a max, the Jeweled Onyx Panther is worth almost 50k profit. I'm not entirely certain if that's worth it or not. I don't know if the Jeweled Onyx Panther is actually going to sell at 150k, but if it does, I definitely will not be the one complaining about it for sure. At a note though, I feel like I didn't do a good enough job of explaining. The only pattern that is required to have exalted is this one right here, the Jeweled Onyx Panther, the one aka the one that's going for 50k profit on my server. The other two right here, so the Sapphire Panther and the Ruby Panther require revered reputation, and then the Jade Panther and the Sunstone Panther only require honored. So even if you just come out here and get these two patterns first, you're still in a better place than most people, I feel like. I've talked about getting these Panthers on stream quite a bit, and I feel like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the Panthers. Except they either don't have a jewel crafter high enough or they don't have a character with high enough rep. I think honestly, like if you get halfway there, you're probably going to push yourself to finish it out, get these learned, get these crafted, etc. The other big thing before we get into how quickly you can get the rep is there is a pretty big upfront cost with this, and I think probably that's why the price is so high at the moment as well. To have all of them up on the auction house, I believe it's 160k of your own money, because you have to buy the Orb of Mystery from Big Keech in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. So those are 20,000 each. Pretty expensive. So that's a lot for a beginner goblin to just kind of, I don't want to say throw away, but to invest. You will definitely make your money back, but it's definitely, that's a lot. That's a lot of gold. That's over a WoW token's worth of gold. It just invested in mounts, right? So before I go to tell you how wonderful it is to have those up in the auction house, Big Keech wanders right around here, around the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. He just kind of wanders right over here. You can just make a target macro, but he's the only NPC in that area, so he should be pretty easy to find. The Panthers themselves, very inexpensive, I would say, outside of the Orb of Mystery. It requires 4 living steel. Again, pretty easy if you have a Transmute Master Alchemist. Serpent Stone, big thing here, you'll get a ton of these things right here, the sparkling shards. A Serpent's Eye requires 10 sparkling shards. And then once you have that, you can just click on the 10 and then it will combine into a Serpent's Eye. I don't know why it was so hard for me to find that information when I was just starting out, but that's just an easy FYI for you guys. I don't know why. I think I searched for Serpent's Eye and I got redirected to a pattern, and then I was supposed to like kill world creatures, etc., when honestly, just prospect. Just prospect Kyperite, prospect Ghost Iron, whatever is cheaper. Just prospect it and get yourself Serpent Eyes that way. Serpent's Eyes, actually they really jumped up in price here. I was going to say you can even buy them off the auction house, but if you're just going to prospect or just get them that way. So it requires 2 of them, and then it requires 20 of a rare gem. Wild Jade, obviously for Jade Panther, Ruby, Primordial Ruby for the Ruby Panther, River's Heart for Sapphire, and Sunstone requires Sun's Radiance. So all require 20 right there. The big thing too is if you, again, have a Transmute Alchemist, notice a pattern here. Get a Transmute Alchemist, guys. If you have a Sunstone, which is the green gem here, if you have a Sunstone and you have a Golden Lotus, then you can actually transmute the 2 of them together to get a Sun's Radiance. So for me, Jade, for whatever reason, aka I think the green one is Alexandrite. I don't know what it is, but I can not for the life of me prospect either Wild Jade or the Alexandrite. So I ended up having to buy Alexandrite off of the auction house and use the Golden Lotus and transmute them together. And thankfully, if you have a Transmute Alchemist, you can actually sometimes proc. So I ended up, I think I maybe bought like 10 Alexandrite and thankfully ended up proccing quite a few doubles. So it turned out to be less expensive, honestly, than I thought it was going to be. Because sometimes, like, on my server, I don't know why, but somebody bumped up the price of the Wild Jade as well. So really, really expensive. I definitely say if you can, make everything yourself. Same with Living Steel. Anyway, so day 1, you have 0 rep. What do you do exactly? So what you want to do, obviously, is grab all of the daily quests. They're pretty easy to complete. Most of them require you to go to Windward Isle over here, which is perfect because we are heading that way anyway. So pick up all of these. I guess I can pick them up. I guess we can do a full walkthrough here. This is also what I wanted to point out. So since people will be watching this video and theoretically coming out here and getting this rep and getting the Panthers, a thing to keep in mind, this right here, the fish cakes, you can sell these and you can buy them on the auction house. So the fish cakes are actually worth quite a bit of gold. So let's look at the fish cake real quick, because I was a very lazy goblin. When I did this, I was prioritizing the rep over anything else. So you can buy these. So there's only 108 on the server right now, so that's a good thing to maybe flip someday. Yeah, so fish cakes are used here, daily quest for, yeah, that could be a good thing to flip. So grab all of these, and we will just do this since we're already here. What we're primarily after, where is she at? What we're primarily after is once you complete the daily quest and we're already over on that isle, what you want to be looking for are these Onyx Eggs, which are right here. So the Onyx Eggs, assuming that you have learned the 100% reputation, will actually give you basically double, right? Double. So you'll be getting 1,000 rep per Onyx Egg here. So the Onyx Eggs are turned into Elder Anley right here, and I can turn this in. However, it's not really worth it for me. Like I won't get any reputation at all because I'm maxed out on reputation. So we'll just leave that here for now. But 1,000 is pretty good because you're going to need a lot of reputation in order to get to Exalted. The big thing too is I recommend as you come out here, start with war mode on because it's pretty easy to switch war mode off, but it's not easy to turn war mode on because you have to go all the way to org for it. So the downside is I did come out here earlier and I snagged an Onyx Egg. So you'll definitely, there's lots less competition in the morning and even more so in war mode on. So I wish that I could find an Onyx Egg. I'm not sure I'm going to find one right now because one, I am on a server that shares a shard with Area 52, which is a full pop server. Yeah, that person is looking as well. Yeah, that's a no-go. However, I can at least kind of show you where they're located. I always just kind of fly around the tops of the mountains here. And I actually have an app that, it's called, well, I think most people have it at this point, but it's Gathermate. So Gathermate here shows me where all of the Onyx Eggs could be located. So I thought that I was going to be super clever and bring my rogue over here so that she could theoretically track treasure. Unfortunately, Onyx Eggs are not treasure. So I already had Jewelcrafting on my rogue anyway, so I just kind of sucked it up and was like, okay, we're going to search for them. They're basically just eggs. Sometimes they're hidden, so it's a little bit difficult. Like sometimes they'll hide in the foliage. I really wish I could find one. I found one earlier and then I had to re-record my video. So sorry about that. There's quite a few here. Like I said, if you come morning time or if you come war mode on, you should be able to find quite a few. The other alternative and the one that I highly recommend and the one that I use to get exalted within like 2 hours, if you have multiple accounts, bring your other account out here. Bring it, so server hop yourself. Server hopping is so easy if you have multiple accounts. All it takes is a little like invite macro and then you're good to go. So I'm not seeing any, unfortunately. I really wish I could show you, but looks like we're out of luck on finding one. So I just kind of mouse over and wait to see if there's text over here. And then that's a little bit easier because you see here the foliage is so thick. All right, well, I tried. There are eggs here, I promise. Just none right now. But yeah, things to take away from that. Come early morning, come with war mode on, and you will find a ton of eggs up. I think on one server I was able to find like 9 or 10 up, which is huge. That's like halfway through Revered already. So unfortunately, if you do not have more than one account, you might have to spend a little bit longer here. AKA, honestly, just leave your character here and maybe check back in a couple hours when all of the eggs have respawned, or come back the next day, come back the next morning. Either way though, it's really profitable to create these. Now, the one thing I didn't mention earlier, the Jeweled Onyx Panther, and the reason that I said it was 160,000 is because the Jeweled Onyx Panther, the one that requires Exalted, is the one that requires every single other Panther to make. So you have to make all 4 of the others, combine them into the Jeweled Onyx Panther, which again is why I said I'm a little iffy on them being 50k profit, because if you think about it, you could just sell 2 of the Jade Panthers and you would still be at the same profit without having to invest basically 80,000 of your own gold, right? So I crafted one just because I'm curious to see whether or not I actually can make that much. But if you even see like the sell rate of them, so everything else is 0.1, whereas the Jeweled Onyx Panther is 0.07. So like I said, really hesitant on this, but if I sell it, then fantastic. It's another thing that I had up on my auction house and could make a huge amount of profit. But like I said, so on my server, I am playing on a high pop at the moment. I'm not playing on a full pop. I've noticed in some of the full pops that they're still around the crafting cost. So like 25k for most of them, minus the Jeweled Onyx Panther. However, if you play on a high or medium pop, I would definitely come out and like check the prices of these. Because like I said, on my server in particular, I feel like the prices have really skyrocketed. The one that I didn't mention before would be the engineering mount, the chopper. That one I've also seen has gone up a ton. I remember before it used to be about 20k, maybe 30k at max, and now it's like 40 to 45k on my server, which is fantastic. Could make a ton of gold on that as well. But anyway, hopefully this guide helped. Hopefully it is no longer scary to come out here and farm up this rep. Honestly, it doesn't take long. It's pretty relaxing. I mean, worst case, you could even do the dailies, and as you do the dailies, look for these eggs. I mean, I just wanted to take away the mystery of this because I feel like this is such a valuable mount to add to your recipe collection. Really, really profitable so far for me. I've sold probably 5 in the last week or so. I will admit that I have had to cancel scan occasionally because I think a lot of people have also caught on to how profitable they are in my server. However, I'm already cancel scanning for other things, so it's not a big deal for me at the moment. However, in the future, I might change my mind on that. I might sell, well, obviously I'll sell a little bit less because I won't be cancel scanning, but still really, really profitable. I think 25k is definitely worth it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I apologize that the video went on a little bit longer than I normally do. But yeah, I will hopefully not let the next video be too much longer. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.